Greetings, fellow noobs, and welcome to another NuubCast. This is Blonis, bringing you yet another 1v1 and yet another PvP here, this time on the steppes of war. And a recently familiar face, and Akbar gives the good old Jelly Jeff to Big Swole, spawning here as the blue Protoss, and our hero at Akbar here in the red trunks. Get that production tab up for you folks as we see what has been labeled the most boring matchup in StarCraft 2. And the reason why it is generally described as such is because as you look at the production tab during this opening, you will see pretty much mirror builds most of the time, or at least pretty close. At Akbar taking a little bit longer to get his gas, but you generally see the same kind of builds happen for each player. We're talking Gateway at 13, Simulator at 14, as soon as this gate is done, we'll see a Cyber Core. We'll get the second pylon. We'll see the Cyber Core go down at 17 as soon as that gateway's finished. And we'll get that first Zealot out. Sometimes some people get the first Zealot, some people don't, and they wait for Stalkers. And as soon as the Cyber Core is down, they will throw down the second Assimilator if they're going for a two gas build. If they're going for the all-in-one gas, then they will not get the second Assimilator, and they will just have enough they'll have enough gas to sustain one push with Stalkers. And that's why it's considered all-in, because you can't sustain unit production with the number of assimilators you have. Now normally what happens is you stop production right here. When you have 16 probes, you stop production because that's enough to sustain the amount of minerals you need between each round of warp-ins for your 4-gate. Players are doing what appears to be the same exact 4-gate build, though at Akbar seems to be a little bit ahead because he does have his third gateway down, where Big Swole's just now getting his third, but also his fourth gateway down, and he has two Zealots out at Akbar, going with one Zealot and Stalker to open, and still yet to get down the fourth gateway. But I don't know how I missed that, but Big Swole with the with a couple of pylons at Akbar's base, has to hurry up, or because you don't want that to be going. And it looks like he's going to have time to get rid of those pylons. But good job by Big Swole just for even getting them down, because even if he gets one warp in, it's going to do a fair amount of damage. Both players got their warps ready. Zealots on the march, but only three. Going for the 3 Gate Robo is at Akbar. He is going to be at a slight disadvantage here. He may even want to consider warping in a sentry to hold these units at bay. He's got 4 Zealots and a Stalker, and we have 5 Zealots here, a pylon down for Big Swole, and he's going to be warping units in on the high ground. Very wise. I really like that pylon placement a whole lot for Big Swole, because it's not accessible to enemy fire until they get all the way over here, and he's going to be able to use that to protect. Well, he's going to be able to use his army to protect his pylon, but really it's offensive to get up this ramp. Again, there's the sentry I was hoping would come. He's going to want to wait and use that to block that ramp. Oh, that's not what you want to do, although he did now if he uses the sentry, no! They, they force fielded one another, and so it doesn't matter. They're both going to lose units, and this is not good. This is not good. Better force field, but didn't. And see, this is, you always want to wait. You need to pull back and wait for your own force field to clear before you try to engage, or you're basically separating your own army and you're allowing that to happen. No, at Akbar. And Akbar going to lose a few units there because of just missed micro. Not a huge deal at this level, but it will lose you a lot of units if you're not careful with how you use your force fields. And Akbar going to kite away from that zealot. Very nice. And also a problem, PvP, I do not like this in PvP, blocking the ramp like this. If you're going to use it defensively and get a concave here and potentially risk losing these buildings, that's one thing, but you're not going to do that. And basically all you're doing is you're giving your enemy who's pressuring you, like Big Swole is right now, you're giving him this avenue. Because you have to basically Congo line down your own ramp. And that's never a good thing. More sentries warped in for Big Swole, trying to use his Ad Akbar's ramp against him. Looks like Ad Akbar has foregone warping in any new sentries. Does have enough for one more warp in here. We have 2 more gateways coming in for Ad Akbar, and now Immortal in the mix. Could be getting another one if he so chose. Right now he could warp in a second one, or he could warp in 5 stalkers if he so chooses. Either way, now Ad Akbar going to move out, but yet again, you see how long it takes, and there it is, the splitting up of the army with those force fields, because of, in a large part, because of how the building placement is. And this, just causing all sorts of damage, losing so many units there. And now, once again, getting stuck because of that Congo line. Again! Akbar's army getting split up, trying to get that Immortal out of there so he doesn't take all that damage. But once again, what you're seeing is he wouldn't have gotten nearly as split up if he didn't have this little lane up here and here for his army to have to walk through. Not saying he wouldn't have gotten his army separated, but it would have been much less. Potentially could have been much less so had his building placement been better. And the bottom line is PvP. This is just straight up unnecessary. You do not need to block off against a Protoss opponent. See how Big Swole has got all this open area, allows for a huge concave. You make your enemy come up your ramp. You get your concave together, and you make him come to you and fight you on that little choke. Big Swole has the right idea here with his building placement away from the ramp, and if you need to defend, you defend in here. Now he's got his bay out, getting some Immortals, but this backing off gives Ad Akbar time to expand, time to get that second base down, and he is going to have an immediate economic advantage, one that hopefully will be able to keep up with his unit productions. Yes, it will, even though he's got 5 gates and a robo. Not sustainable on one base, but once he gets the second base up, he will be able to add another robo bay or a couple of gates or a Stargate or 2. Big Swole's got the probe in Ad Akbar's base, so he sees what's happening here with this expansion, no problem. And I think right there, Ad Akbar's gonna have to see Big Swole, and is gonna send in a unit to kill that probe, and there he goes. Stalker goes in, bye bye, bye bye probe. Now check this out, Big Swole, instead of getting his natural, comes over here to the high yield. I like, it's a much riskier play. Obviously, much harder to defend a base that's far away. So it's a risk you have to take, but it's a high, it's one of those it's not low risk. I would say mid-risk, high reward. Because if he pulls it off and Akbar doesn't notice that expansion, then he's got it made in the shade and he's going to completely dominate economically. However, as you can see, Akbar got the higher food. However, if Akbar comes over here and sees this, it's dead. Pretty much straight dead. No matter what, there's nothing that Big Swole's going to be able to do to get his army over there to defend that that high yield expansion if it's found out. And Big Swole taking the tower, which is a very good move, ensuring that, or at least lowering the potential of that base being found out. Alright, looks like Akbar is about ready to move. He does have a significant lead. It's about 20 food lead over Big Swole, and all the right unit composition too. Lots of zealots to take care of immortals. I think the same number of immortals here as Big Swole does. Yep, equal immortals, way more stalkers, and a fair bit more zealots as well. Looks like Big Swole going. Is that an all-in route? Or is he just looking to transfer? He must be looking to transfer those. Yep, and there they go. I thought maybe he was about to all-in. And now the observer coming out. Does he see it? Does he see it? Yes, he does. He sees the transfer, so he's gonna know to move out. And yep, he's following those probes right up to the high yield. And this is exactly what I was talking about. The high risk. High reward does not pay off, and he's going to lose all of these probes, and look how long it's going to take for him to get his army out here. And this Nexus, oh, he's not going to go after the Nexus, he's going to take the probes instead. Oh, I see what's happening. Big Swole taking the opportunity to counter, and here we are going to meet on the ramp. Big Swole getting cut off by these perfect force fields by Akbar. Half of his army broken off, but put a force field at the base of Akbar's ramp and going to come here and do all kinds of economic damage. Akbar going to warp in some stalkers over here and bring out his probes to fight this battle. Is he going to try and move in? No, he's not. He is actually going to leave that army in his base. He's going to move out, and he's even going to give up his Nexus, which, not even a bad play at this point because he's very low on minerals. And so he's basically sacking this base for a complete win up here if he can get through these force fields. Oh, and there's a Colossus. These units that are caught on the ramp are, if they realize what's happening, they can turn around and actually kill these guys, but they don't even know what's happening and they are going to die, but it's going to be too late for Big Swole's expansion. He's going to lose that as well. More zealots being warped in, and they will probably be able to clean this up if they focus down that immortal first, which they have done, and he is dead, and that's going to be the end for this little advance. It's also the end of this expansion, which is going to mean the end, I think, for Big Swole. He's got to be nearly mined out, and he is, and his expansions are gone. He's going to have enough for just a minor push here, and but it's not going to be enough. Just a lot of units here. Good macro by Akbar, just creating units constantly. I think maybe Big Swole got lost in his tech a little bit, stopped making units, wasn't able to keep up because he was spending money on double Robo and the Robo Bay and upgrades and stuff. So obviously nobody producing anything at this point. And Akbar ensuring his win with the taking of the high yield expansion. Where are you going? Come back here and end this game, son. What's happening? What is happening? Why did you leave? Come back here and end this game. Now he sees what Big Swole has, and without hesitation moves the rest of the way out, but does get force field. And now with these Guardian Shields, trying to micro the Colossus away, just not going to be enough. Ad Akbar with presumptive GG. I'm not liking that. Do not like it. And so Big Swole doesn't even respond in kind. BM responded with BM. I'd be super mad if Ad Akbar did that to me. But he didn't, so I still like him. Thanks for the replay, Ad Akbar. And thanks to everybody else for hanging in and watching. Keep climbing that ladder. We will see you soon.